Hey, welcome back to the next part of the video series. In this video we're going to start making the trees and getting our forest built. So originally I had talked about puffball trees in here, and I started looking at it, and the method that I want to do and the look I'm going for, really puffball trees aren't going to work. I need all the trees to be the same type of tree, from the canopy in the back all the way forward. They need to match or it's just not going to look right. So what I've decided to do is take the trees that were on the mountainside that I pulled out when I started this series, and I cut off all the tops. And what those are these super trees that I have on a frame right here. I have a giant box that I bought maybe a year ago, and they're really nice trees. I like them a lot. They're easy to make. So I thought I'd give you the process of how I make. So when you buy these trees, what you get is a box. I bought the big box, and you get a box of this weed here, of this shrubbery. It's all dried, and you just go through it and you clip out the pieces that look like trees. So what I'm doing is I have a tub of white glue, watered down. It's pretty thin. It's probably the consistency of milk. And then I have ground foam. I have two different colors. I have this color and this color. They look very similar, but when they're not in the jar and they're on the trees, they do look very different. There's a variation in the color, which is all I'm looking for. I don't want completely different colored trees. I want it to be a subtle difference between them so that each tree is highlighted so that it looks like individual trees. So here's the one color I've done already. So these I've gotten done in one of the colors. So these are going to form a good chunk of that canopy. And I took and I divided the huge pile I had, I divided into thirds. So 1/3 will go this color, 1/3 will go a different color, and 1/3 will stay this color. So I'll have 3 different colors in the variation. So here's the process of how that works. I'm going to do like 1 or 2 here on camera, and I'm going to do the rest off because it's really not that interesting to watch. What I'm doing first is I take the tree. We're going to switch colors here. That color is done, so now I'm switching to this color. Okay, so what we do is we take one of these pieces out of the cut pile, the ones that are ready to go, and I'm going to take the scissors and I'm just going to round off the tops. Just kind of get them a little more managed, like that. Take this, I'm going to dip it into the glue, let it drain off, and then I'm going to take this other color and we just sprinkle it over the top of it, like that. And there's the difference in the color. You can kind of see where we're going with that. Doesn't want to stand up. And we'll lay that there and we'll let it dry, and then we move on to the next one. So this one right here, we'll take this and we'll just give it a quick trim up just to round it down some. Now remember that these were already done once, and I'm doing them again, and doing them again, I've never really done that before, but I'm noticing what it's doing is it's making the tree look a lot more full. I'm going to hold this over here, drop some more of the foam on it. Shake it off. And that's another one done. And I'll do one more. it off, and there we go. So now when you see those side by side, you can kind of see the difference a little bit. I don't want it to be a huge difference. But those last couple compared to the rest of them. They're a little bit more green, a little bit brighter. It's very subtle. I don't know if it comes off on camera or not, but we'll see what happens when it dries and we put them into the mountain and, you know, come up with something. So when I get these all done, we'll come back and we'll start laying these into the mountain. So until then, we'll see you later. Okay, so the trees we made just a few minutes ago, I've actually let those sit overnight to dry, and they are right here. I have 3 sheets of these. There's probably close to 100 altogether. I have another pile of them over here. They're a little bit darker. And then I have another pile over here. So I have a total of 3 different colors that we're going to use. Now, just to show you why we didn't use puffball trees altogether, let me give you a look at what a puffball tree looks like in case you haven't seen them. Alright, so these are puffball trees, and these are made with polyfiber, which is this stuff here. And then you roll these into balls, you pull up pieces, roll it into balls, and cover it with the ground foam, and then you glue them into place. Because I'm using the Scenic Express trees, which are kind of like this, I need everything to match. If I use those other trees, they're not going to match. So anyway, that's the difference, and this is why I changed where we were going to go with this. So let's go ahead and start placing these into our mountain. Alright, so how we're going to start with this is I'm going to lay down a bunch of straight white glue, and we're going to start placing these in there. And I'm going to start with the smallest of the trees that I have, and we're going to work our way towards the front and getting larger as we go. So let's get some glue in there. All right. So now we're just going to start placing those in, alternating the colors. Now also, when I'm placing these in here, they don't have to be touching, you just don't want to see the spaces between. So I'm placing them in such a way that the spaces don't show. Okay, now we're going to make these trees go a little further than we would have. We're going to add also pine trees into this. Okay, so with this I have a box of pine trees. I'm going to put these in odd numbers. Like that. And then we'll do a couple patches of these. That's a group of 3. We'll do another one over here. Like that. And then we'll keep the smaller ones always toward the back and work our way to the larger ones. Now, some of these larger clumps here, what I'm doing, I'm going to break those down because they're a little large. So that's what we're looking for. So when you're looking at the scenery, and then we have the faraway backdrop behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all this, and I'll turn this back on when I get everything in there. Alright, so there's pretty much how it's going to look. Now, I still need to do this side of the highway, but this part here is pretty well done, and that's how it's going to end up. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I have that look of the full dense forest, and then I still have to work this way. I have all of this to fill in. But in order to do that, I have to make more trees. I'm out. Unfortunately, I used the 50 to 75 trees I had. They're gone. Now I need another batch of them. So there's the idea. That's what I'm working on. I think I may call this video series done. There's really no reason to film anymore, but what I will do is I will post some pictures on my website. It's mikestrains.wordpress.com. Look for it next week. I'll have pictures up of the whole completed scene, and I'll probably do a train running video. But there you go. That's it. I hope I helped you and gave you some help as to how you can do yours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.